Hola friends and family, and welcome back. I want to start this video with a big thank you. After I shared the idea of this project, I received so many inspiring messages from you. Thank you all for your ideas, your feedback, and your encouragement. As I mentioned last time, one partial goal for this little video series is to track my progress in a few of the areas that I want to focus on until next year. And for that, this video is going to be a starting point. But before I get into details, I wanted to share a little analogy that I like. Imagine that for each of us there is a little planet. Along its surface, different types of trees can grow. As time goes on, the planet itself expands, providing access to new surfaces to nurture new trees. And as we go about our lives, our experiences and interactions shape this sphere of growth. Sometimes we deliberately choose to plant a new tree. Maybe you choose to learn a new language, then you have a new language tree. If you plant more language trees, you might find that the roots sometimes support each other, making each new language tree a little bit easier to grow. Even though, if these language trees are too close to each other, you might sometimes confuse which tree a certain leaf belongs to. Other trees just happen to grow on your planet, sometimes without us even noticing it. If you are often patient, your patience tree grows. If you are often angry, your anger tree grows. It may take deliberate effort to change the way they develop. I like this analogy because on one hand, it is simple enough to be helpful when thinking about what it means to grow or develop different areas in your life, but at the same time, it properly conveys the complexity that these things actually have, which I find useful. Let's go through a few more examples. Sometimes we're trying hard to make a certain tree grow taller and stronger, and we can't wait for it to bear fruit. Yet at times it seems like the tree doesn't grow anymore. Each day you look at it, and it seems to be the same as before, despite the time and effort you have devoted to its care. Sometimes this can frustrate us. Am I wasting my time? Am I just not able to grow this tree any further? I remember this happening, for example, when I was learning to play the guitar. I was practicing a certain passage of a song that I wanted to learn, and I would practice it over and over again, yet I didn't seem to improve at all after hours and days of practice. What I think we don't see when this happens is that underneath the surface, the tree's roots are growing. They need to grow before they can support a taller tree. If we can learn to focus less on the shape and the appearance of the tree and find joy in just the process of nurturing it instead, one day you look at it again and think, when did this tree grow like this? And sure enough, one day I took the guitar and that passage that I had struggled so much on had somehow become easy. Some people become specialists. They will develop a region of their planet where a tall forest will grow. Some trees in it might even reach heights and forms no one has ever seen before. Other people tend to be generalists. They will develop forests all around their sphere, and while their trees might not reach the height they could with specialization, their spheres may offer more variety in landscapes. I think there's no right or wrong way to grow your sphere, and of course, most of us are a mix between both types. We will specialize in some areas more than others. We will get attached to particular trees, sometimes neglect others. Our spheres are constantly evolving, changing. I often consider myself to be more of the generalist type, as I'm always trying to advance many different skills and grow in different areas. And one important thing for me to understand and to accept was that by doing this, none of these areas will develop as fast and as tall as they would should I choose to specialize only in one or a few of them. But that is okay. I just have to be patient, appreciate the journey, and celebrate the little steps. Sometimes we pass by someone else's planet, and on it we see a gigantic, amazing, and beautiful tree. We may think to ourselves, I wish I had such a tree. Why don't I have a tree like that? What have I been doing with my planet? We easily fall into the trap of oversimplifying the way we compare ourselves to others. Because what we don't see is all the time, energy, and sacrifice that went into that tree for it to grow to what it is now. We forget we are not comparing two bars, we're not even comparing two trees. We're comparing different trees on different planets with different atmospheres, a different past, different planetary systems with different gravitational interactions. So let us be inspired by gorgeous trees others have raised. Let us be encouraged to try reaching heights we haven't reached or even thought of reaching before. But let's also not forget our planets are complex, unique, and so are the challenges we face. Maybe we find something has been damaged, above or beneath the surface, and we may need time to heal and to adjust. Maybe another planet's gravity is influencing our own, maybe in a helpful way, maybe in a harmful way, maybe both, and we may need time to find our place. However, taking care of your sphere in any way, I think, is an act of love, and there's always much more beneath the surface and the trees than meets the eye. Until next year, some of the areas of my sphere that I want to try to develop include movement in the form of calisthenics, mobility training and stretching, and parkour. The components of mobility and calisthenics are rather new, even though the idea is not. The focus for calisthenics is developing strength but also body control, which is something I really admire. I have never really focused on mobility or flexibility before, as you might be able to tell, but I am happy to incorporate it now. Parkour is not a new activity for me, but of course the new challenge will be to find enough time for it, now that I'm also regularly practicing the other two disciplines. When it comes to art and music, while I do want to practice more drawing and sketching, I am currently most excited about creating my own music, which is something I already started, and I'm planning to share my first song or two sometime soon. I also want to make reading a more present component of my everyday life, as I haven't read nearly as much as I would have liked in the last few years. And finally, for now, I also want to learn and practice skills related to cardistry and sleight of hand magic. The entire list is longer, but these are the things that I want to focus on the most. I'm looking forward to sharing a bit of this journey with you, hopefully the progress, but also the failures and the challenges. What about you? What areas of your sphere are you focusing on? Muchas gracias for listening. Thank you. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.